Los Angeles is in chaos. Jackie Chan's motorcade cuts through traffic, sirens blaring. A crash. 12-year-old Emily throws a rock at the armored glass, her sign screaming, "Help! I've lost everything." Jackie stops everyone, walks out, and with one glance launches a battle against corruption that threatens thousands of veterans. Will the off-screen legend win? The sun dips low over Los Angeles, casting a golden haze across the sprawling city as rush-hour traffic grinds to a chaotic halt. Sirens scream through the air, slicing through the honking horns and frustrated shouts. A sleek, blacked-out SUV leads a roaring convoy, its tinted windows reflecting the flickering lights of downtown. Inside sits Jackie Chan, 70 years old, a legend of action cinema, his face weathered but sharp, fresh off a grueling day of filming high-flying stunts. He leans back, eyes half closed, the hum of the engine lulling him into a rare moment of calm. The convoy barrels forward, parting the sea of cars like a blade through water, a fortress on wheels escorted by flashing police bikes. Then crack! A sharp, jarring sound snaps Jackie upright. Something slams against the reinforced glass of his window, spiderwebbing the surface with faint cracks. The driver swerves slightly, tires screeching, while the security detail in the front seat jolts to attention, hands flying to earpieces. What the hell was that? The lead agent barks, scanning the chaos outside. Jackie's gaze locks onto the source, a small figure standing defiantly in the middle of the street, dwarfed by the towering convoy. It's a girl no older than 12, her tangled brown hair whipping in the wind, her clothes ragged and stained. In her trembling hands, she clutches a jagged chunk of concrete, her chest heaving like she's just run a mile. Beside her, a crumpled cardboard sign flaps against the asphalt, its scrawled words barely legible. "Help me. I've lost everything." "Stop." Jackie's voice cuts through the cabin, firm and unshaken, a tone honed by decades of commanding scenes. The driver hesitates, glancing back through the rearview mirror. "Sir, we can't. Just keep moving. It's not safe." "Stop the damn car." Jackie snaps, his eyes blazing with an intensity that silences the protest. The SUV lurches to a halt, brakes squealing, and the convoy staggers to a chaotic stop behind it. Horns blare from every direction, a cacophony of outrage as traffic piles up. Agents leap from their vehicles, forming a tight perimeter, their voices crackling over radios. "Code red, secure the area." But Jackie's already moving, shoving the door open against the protests of his team. The air outside hits him, thick with exhaust and the electric buzz of a city on edge. He steps forward, boots crunching on scattered gravel, his silhouette framed by the pulsing red and blue lights. The girl, Emily, though he doesn't know her name yet, stands frozen, her wide hazel eyes locked on him. She's a speck of defiance against the chaos, her grip tightening on the concrete, as if it's her last weapon. The cardboard sign slaps the ground again, caught in a gust, and Jackie's gaze drops to it. The words hit him like a punch. "Help me. I've lost everything." Simple, raw, a plea that slices through the noise. "Who are you, kid?" he asks, his voice softer now, cutting through the siren's wail. Emily doesn't answer right away. Her lips tremble, but she doesn't back down, staring at the man who's dodged bullets on screen, but now stands unguarded before her. The agents close in, one grabbing Jackie's arm. "Sir, we need to go now. Let go." Jackie growls, shaking free without breaking eye contact with her. Something in her face, grit, pain, a flicker of hope, hooks him. Around them, the city holds its breath, horns fading into a distant roar as drivers crane their necks, phones already recording. The convoy, a gleaming symbol of power, sits stalled, its purpose hijacked by a single, desperate girl and the man who can't look away. The Los Angeles street pulses with tension, the stalled convoy a metallic beast frozen mid-roar, its sirens muted but lights still flashing angrily against the dusk. Jackie Chan stands mere feet from Emily, the 12-year-old girl who dared to hurl a rock at his armored world. Her cardboard sign lies crumpled at her feet, its plea, "Help me. I've lost everything," etched into his mind like a scar. Around them, the security team bristles, their hands hovering near holsters, barking commands into crackling earpieces. "Clear the perimeter. Get him back in the vehicle." But Jackie doesn't budge. His eyes, sharp from years of reading stunt cues, traced the girl's face, dirt-smudged cheeks, a wild tangle of hair, and a jagged scar snaking across her left forearm, pink and fresh against her pale skin. It's a mark of survival, a story untold. "Who did that to you?" he asks, nodding at the scar, his voice low but steady, cutting through the chaos like a blade. Emily flinches, her grip on the chunk of concrete tightening until her knuckles whiten. She doesn't answer, just stares at him, half defiant, half broken. The air hangs heavy, thick with exhaust and unspoken pain. Then she explodes. "You shoot movies about heroes," she yells, her voice cracking with raw fury, loud enough to turn heads in the growing crowd. "My dad was a hero, fought in the war, died for this country, and nobody cares. You don't care." The accusation lands like a slap, her words trembling with a rage too big for her small frame. Jackie's breath catches. He's faced villains on screen, dodged fists and blades, but this is a punch he can't block. He steps closer, ignoring the agent tugging at his sleeve, and kneels slightly, leveling his gaze with hers. "I care," he says, barely above a whisper, his hand resting gently on her shoulder. Her eyes widen, the fire in them flickering as his touch steadies her trembling. "Tell me what happened." The crowd hushes, phones still raised, capturing every second of the standoff between the action star and the girl who stopped his world. Emily swallows hard, her voice dropping to a ragged murmur. "Dad was a vet. Came back broken. Died 2 years ago. Mom couldn't pay the bills. Lost the house. She's gone now. I don't know where." Her words stumble out, each one a shard of glass, cutting deeper as she fights tears. "I've been on the street, running from creeps, hiding in alleys. That's where this came from," she adds, glancing at the scar, her free hand brushing it like a wound she can't forget. Jackie's jaw tightens, a slow burn of anger rising in his chest. Not at her, but at whatever system let this kid fall through the cracks. He stands, his silhouette towering against the convoy's flashing lights, and turns to his lead agent. "Find her mother. Now." The man blinks, caught off guard. "Sir, we don't even know." "Find her." Jackie snaps, his tone ironclad, the command of a man who spent a lifetime making the impossible happen. The agent nods, barking orders into his radio as the team scatters. Jackie looks back at Emily, her face a mix of shock and fragile hope. "You're not alone anymore," he says, his voice softening but firm, a promise sealed in that moment. She nods faintly, the concrete slipping from her hand to clatter on the pavement. A surrender, a plea answered. But as the agents fan out, Jackie's mind races. One girl, one story, yet he knows she's not alone. Veterans' families abandoned, scattered across the city, the country. The scar on her arm isn't just hers. It's a wound on a nation he's entertained for decades. The crowd watches, breathless, as he takes her hand, leading her toward the SUV. "Come with me," he says, and she follows, hesitant but trusting. The convoy rumbles back to life, sirens wailing anew. But Jackie's focus is razor-sharp. This isn't just about Emily anymore. It's about the thousands like her, and he's damn well going to find out how deep this abyss goes. The convoy cuts through Los Angeles like a spear, its sirens a relentless howl against the night. Inside the lead SUV, Jackie Chan sits beside Emily, the 12-year-old girl now huddled in a borrowed jacket, her scarred arm tucked close. The city blurs past. Neon signs, shadowy alleys, a restless sprawl indifferent to her pain. Jackie's phone buzzes with updates from his team, their voices clipped over the line. "We've got a lead, shelter on Skid Row. Possible sighting of her mother." He nods, eyes fixed ahead, the weight of Emily's story fueling a fire he hasn't felt since his stunt days. The vehicle screeches to a stop outside a crumbling building, its faded sign reading Veterans Haven. Floodlights from the convoy bathe the cracked facade in stark white, revealing a line of weary faces peering out. Men and women, some in tattered camo, all carrying ghosts in their eyes. Jackie steps out, Emily trailing behind, her grip tight on his sleeve. The air stinks of damp concrete and despair. The shelter's interior a maze of sagging cots and flickering bulbs. A woman in a frayed coat staggers forward. Sophie, Emily's mother, her face gaunt, eyes sunken from illness and exhaustion. "Mom!" Emily cries, breaking free to throw her arms around her. Sophie's knees buckle, but she clings to her daughter, tears cutting tracks through the grime on her cheeks. Jackie watches, his chest tightening. She's been here a month. A shelter worker mutters nearby. Lost everything after her husband died. No one's helped. The words ignite a spark of fury in him. This isn't just one family's tragedy. It's a pattern. Before he can speak, a shadow looms in the doorway. A man in a crisp suit steps forward, his slicked back hair and predator's grin clashing with the misery around him. Well, Jackie Chan, the action hero, playing savior. He sneers, voice dripping with mockery. Richard Kane, Jackie knows the name. A mid-level bureaucrat who controls veteran relief funds. Notorious for skimming millions while shelters like this rot. You're out of your depth, Chan, Kane continues, sauntering closer. This isn't a movie set. You're no rescuer, just an old man chasing a headline. The barb stings, but Jackie's face stays stone cold, his years of discipline kicking in. You know why she's here? Jackie fires back, nodding at Sophie. Because your relief never reached her or anyone else. Kane chuckles, unfazed, his eyes glinting with arrogance. Budgets are tight. Priorities shift. Not my fault they can't keep up. Emily glares at him, her small fists clenched, but Jackie steps between them, voice dropping to a dangerous whisper. I'm recording this. He taps his phone in his pocket, the red dot blinking silently. Kane's smirk falters, his gaze darting to the device as Jackie adds. Tell me more about those priorities. For a split second, panic flashes across Kane's face. Then he recovers, leaning in close. You think a little audio will touch me? I've got friends who'll bury you, lawsuits, scandals, whatever it takes. The shelter goes quiet, the residents watching, their hope hanging by a thread. Jackie doesn't flinch. Try me, he says, his tone ice and steel, the defiance of a man who's faced worse odds. Kane notices the phone again, its glow seeping through Jackie's jacket, and lunges forward, swiping at it. Jackie sidesteps with a stuntman's grace, the device safe, but Kane's mask slips, rage twisting his features. You'll regret this, he hisses, backing off as security closes in, alerted by the scuffle. He retreats into the night, leaving a chill in his wake. Jackie turns to Sophie and Emily, their reunion now shadowed by a new threat. We're getting you out of here, he says, then glances at the shelter worker. How many more like her? The man hesitates, then murmurs, hundreds, maybe thousands. Jackie's jaw sets firm. Kane's not just a bully, he's a gatekeeper to a rotting system, and that recording might be the key to cracking it open. But as the convoy prepares to roll out, Jackie knows. This fight just got personal, and the stakes are climbing fast. The Los Angeles skyline glitters as the convoy roars back into motion, its black SUVs now streaked with spray-painted cries. Help vets now? And justice rolls. Jackie Chan sits inside, Emily and Sophie beside him, their faces lit by the glow of his phone. He's live-streaming, the camera shaky but steady enough to capture his resolve. This isn't about me, he says, voice cutting through the hum of the engine. It's about them, veterans' families left to rot. I'm starting a fund, $15 million of my own money, to fix this. The chat explodes. Hashtag Jackie saves trends in seconds. Comments flooding with hearts and dollar signs. Outside, the convoy's lights pulse like a beacon, drawing crowds along the streets. Phones up, filming the rebellion on wheels. Emily leans into frame, her scar catching the light. He found my mom, she says, voice small but fierce. He's real. Sophie nods, frail but clinging to hope. The stream hits 1 million views. Then 2. Viral fire spreading across X and beyond. Donations pour in, strangers pledging thousands, inspired by the girl and the legend. But the tide shifts fast. A notification pings. Richard Kane posts. Chan's a fraud, pure PR stunt. Wake up, sheep. Fake screenshots flood the feed. Doctored bank records. Claims Jackie's pocketing the cash. The chat splinters, skeptics clashing with believers. Jackie's jaw tightens, but he keeps streaming, undeterred. Then Emily grabs the phone, her eyes blazing. He's lying, she shouts, holding it close. Kane's the fraud. He left my mom to die. Jackie, save her, look. She pans to Sophie, who lifts a trembling hand, proof in her weary smile. The crowd outside roars, horns blaring in solidarity as the convoy slows near a news van. Reporters swarm, mics thrust forward, but Emily's voice cuts through. "You can lie all you want, Kane. He's doing what you never did." The chat flips, anger turns to awe. Hashtag Jackie Saves surging again. A donor drops $500,000 live, the screen flashing with support. Jackie takes the phone back, his gaze steel. This is just the start. We're building homes, getting care, real help. He pauses, the convoy halting as floodlights bathe them. Kane can't stop us. The stream ends with a thunder of cheers, the movement unstoppable. But in the shadows, Jackie knows Kane's wounded, not beaten. The fight's on air now, and it's only getting louder. The Los Angeles Convention Center buzzes under glaring lights, cameras flashing like gunfire as Jackie Chan steps onto the stage. Behind him, a massive screen loops footage. Emily hugging Sophie in their new apartment, veterans moving into homes, families smiling through tears. The crowd, 100 strong, from donors to vets, erupts in applause. Jackie grips the mic, his voice steady but charged. "This isn't my win. It's theirs," he says, gesturing to the screen. The funds hit $20 million in a week. We're rebuilding lives, not just houses. Emily stands in the front row, her scar a badge of survival, clapping with a grin she couldn't muster days ago. Sophie beside her looks stronger, the weight of despair lifting. The screen shifts, clips of the convoy, now a symbol nationwide, its graffiti-covered hulls rolling through cities as hashtag Jackie Saves spreads. Volunteers hand out flyers, donations skyrocket, and shelters report aid reaching thousands. Jackie leans forward, eyes fierce. We've shown what's possible when we fight for each other. No more forgotten heroes. The room roars, a wave of hope crashing over the skeptics. Phones light up, streaming the moment live. Millions watching, sharing, believing. A vet in the back shouts, "You're one of us now, Chan," and the cheers double, shaking the walls. But as the applause peaks, Jackie's phone buzzes in his pocket. He glances down, a blocked number. He steps back, letting Emily take the mic. Her voice cuts through. "He gave us a home. Don't let anyone tell you he's fake." The crowd chants her name, a tide turning. Jackie answers the call, slipping to the stage's edge. A raspy voice hisses, "Nice show, Chan." But Kane's gone, took the evidence with him. He's planning something big. The line cuts dead. Jackie's pulse quickens, his gaze sweeping the room. Victory's sweet, but the threat lingers like smoke. He returns, forcing a smile as Emily finishes. "We did it together," she says, and the crowd leaps to its feet. Jackie joins her, arm around her shoulder, cameras catching the moment. A hero in his spark. But his eyes burn with resolve. "We're just getting started," he says, voice low, a vow to himself. Kane's out there, and the fight's not over. The lights dim, cheers fade, and the screen glows with possibility. Yet the shadow of what's next looms large.